Přátelé. Dobrý den. What a joy it is and what a pleasure to be back in this beloved Prague, your Prague, our Prague. It is a special pleasure because I have, as president of the European Party of ENF, the political party of the Europe of Nations and Freedom, the honor to represent here with you, and I say this without any exaggeration, a movement that is going to change the future of the European Union. And thus, let me thank Tomio Okamura and SPD for the invitation that gives me this pleasure. I bring you, my friends, the greetings of our ENF allies who in all of their member states brought the change and the force needed to really change the powers of the past. I bring you the greetings of Francis Marine Le Pen, Dutch Geert Wilders, our Polish, Greek, German and British friends, and also the greetings of our Italian and Austrian friends, of the Lega and of the Freedom Party, that recently brought their parties in government and made it immediately very clear for Merkel and the whole European Union what the difference is between the past and the future. I suggest that we give our warm-hearted support and applause to these two leaders, I may say, friends in Austria and Italy, Heinz Christian Strache and Matteo Salvini. The Europe of Nations and Freedom, being strongly in favor of free and friendship-driven European cooperation, but even so strongly opposed to the centralized Brussels-based European Union that now crushes our freedoms, this Europe of Nations and Freedom brings hope. We bring the hope that it might not be too late. One of the key problems of this European Union is the way the Union has split up the West and the East of Europe in the case of the immigration. Madam Angela Merkel has opened the doors of Europe for migration, mostly Muslim migration from all over the world. But in the east of Europe, the rebellion started. You here in the east learned us all, after all these years under communism and now under Merkel's rule, that the conquest of freedom comes out of the will to resist. The will to resist, that is why all leaders of ENF are happy and proud to feel that Tomio Okamura and his party is one of us. So we, us, together, we are the resistance. If you have seen how one simple gesture of our friend Matteo Salvini, one simple decision to close Italian ports for illegal immigration transport by so-called refugee NGOs, how this one decision changed the whole political landscape on the European continent, then you know how strong our resistance can be. New times are coming up. New times leaving behind the old times of multiculturalism. Leaving behind supranational institutions that kill the freedom with their obligation to open up the borders for migrants, bringing in cultures and habits and a political religion that will also kill the freedom. All this is done in the name of freedom, but really, come and see in the west of Europe, in Brussels, the capital of Europe, how the military soldiers and concrete blocks and cameras are all over the place in the streets of Europe of Angela Merkel. And even then, yet, we have to fear an Allahu Akbar shouting immigrant jumping up to plunge a knife in our throat. That is the freedom? No. Well, let me tell you, these are the signs of the past. We will let these signs behind us. We are the Europe of the future. The populists, that's how we are called by the big bosses of the European Union. The populists are not the problem, they are the solution. Next year, at the occasion of the upcoming European election, a new Europe will be born, and it will be our Europe, a Europe of nations and freedom. So, my friends, the situation, the state of our continent is not very hopeful, but we are. We are the hope of our nations, and together we are the hope of our continent. We will not let this beautiful continent and its splendid culture be destroyed by the forces of destruction. We will not let this continent be submerged in chaos. The cultural identity of each of our nations and of the continent as a whole, we will be in front of anyone that threatens it. We will confront them and chase them in the ballot boxes, in the parliaments and in the government buildings. Democracy and resistance will chase them like in Austria, like in Italy, and I am very confident this will happen in Prague and in Czech Republic too. My friends, that is why we have to stay together also next year during new elections and after it. Together we achieved the first big breakthroughs. Together we are able to organize the resistance. The last few years have shown that there are not that many ways to do what we did. Staying together and follow the only way is the only solution, and it should be our only plan. Because there is no other way than the way of Le Pen, the way of Strache, the way of Salvini. There is no other way than our way. Long live our friendship, long live our unity, long live the Europe of free nations, long live the Europe of nations and freedom.